How about that? Before kickoff even. So Denver will be receiving the kick as Green Bay defers. Also worth noting, the Broncos have won 10 in a row. They've got a home win streak that goes back to last season. They're the only undefeated team in the league at home. And here we go with the run back. Bidet has it out across the 30 off the McManus kick. Bo Nix and the Broncos coming out here with this record at 11-2. This is his 31st start. You see what he's done as the last 11 home games. He's won them all, and he's got 29 total touchdowns. He's 21-9 in his career. He started since game 1 a year ago as a rookie. R.J. Harvey, rookie running back, stands 7 yards behind the quarterback, and he has been emerging as a talent. And he runs into a wall of Green Bay defenders, including Walker and Wooden. We've got some key matchups to discuss here with the likes of Micah Parsons in this Green Bay defense.
Micah's been outstanding since the trade coming over here. He's got his elite pad level, and they move him around. You saw him on first down play outside as an outside linebacker. You'll see him on the defensive edge. And guess what? This team doesn't give up sacks. Something's got to give today.
On 2nd and 7, they'll stay on the ground, and they're able to get within a yard of the first as Harvey comes into the arms of Walker. And 3rd and 1 for the Broncos. Sean Payton, what he's done here has been amazing. He's been riding the shoulders of his second-year quarterback, who they took a year ago, 12th overall, 6th quarterback to go off the board. And that's exactly who he was targeting, and reminded him so much of Drew Brees, who he danced with down in New Orleans to great success. Extra lineman coming in for this third down play.
This will be a timeout.
Timeout called by Denver.
Denver has a lot of personnel changes.
Denver,
they do a lot of
the 30-second timeout.
A lot of different personnel groupings, okay? And so when that happens, you got to get guys off the field, guys on the field, and you talked about getting the extra linemen. And one of the issues, though, is that people have to communicate and do that. That's not a good start right there. And I can tell the frustration from Bo Nix.
Yeah, this has been an issue, particularly early to mid-season, about the slow starts they've had. The talk's abated a little bit in recent weeks. But they're going against a Green Bay team that really stiffens right out of the locker room in the first quarter, having given up only 16 first quarter points, fewest in the league. 3rd and 1 out of the timeout. Nix will keep it, and he'll easily drive forward for a new set of downs.
This is why home field advantage is so important. It's so tough to come into Denver and win. Same with going to Green Bay, and right here you get to use the snap count. Hut 1, hut 2, hut 3. Okay, now it happens. So you get the defensive line to have a slow start getting off the ball. Well done.
Matt LaFleur and the Packers coming off that win against Chicago last week. Interesting, they got Chicago next week as well. So this lodged right in between a couple of encounters with the Bears. Here's a 1st and 10. And in the middle of the field, I've got the completion. And Mims has about 6 out of it.
And they need to get Mims going a little bit. He can be a big play threat, just hasn't had a lot lately. However, that's the game plan today, Jim. Green Bay flies around. I mean, they are a vision defense. They all drop into their zone areas, and then they fly and attack the football. You got to take the underneath stuff. Long drives for Denver last week. 3 drives over 9 minutes, basically. 10 minutes. That's how they beat the Raiders. Need to do that again today.
Humphrey in motion as Mims goes to the sideline. They're without Pat Bryant, the rookie, out with a hamstring today. Pass caught near the sticks. Going to be a little bit short with Sutton. Cortland Sutton with the catch.
I really like Sutton. He's just great hands, size, ability, and just at the catch point, they rely on him on key downs for sure.
Yeah, they got another 3rd and 1 to wrestle with. And again, they'll bring Frank Crum in as an extra lineman.
Micah has played 4 different positions already. Now he's at D tackle right here.
Here's your hut one, hut two, Tony, and the give to Harvey, and he's got it. Aggressively tackled, football comes out.
And he ran right at Parsons, who's right there expecting the run to come at him, and I think he might have stripped the ball.
Officials trying to determine, was he down? Conferencing over this. Brad Rogers and the crew on hand here.
Ruling on the field is that the ball was fumbled by the offense with an immediate recovery by number 56 of the defense. It's first down.
Edgerrin Cooper of the Packers with the recovery.
Well, you see Parsons playing D-tackle. He gets down in there in the B gap, sheds the block, and then rips the ball out right there, and that is a fumble for Green Bay. What a start.
Green Bay with the takeaway. Tony, you foreshadowed it before the snap with Parsons lined up as a defensive tackle. They run at him. He strips it, and Cooper with the recovery. Jacobs is the running back. He was limited this week, missed a couple of days of practice with a knee. And on first down, Green Bay's tossing it near sideline. Watson has the catch. Jordan Love on the road this season. 14 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Look at his last 4 games, in fact, overall. 9-1.
Yeah, the old narrative about him throwing the ball in harm's way, that is gone. He's been protecting the football, but he's also been explosive. He's in the MVP race to me right now, Jim.
22 touchdowns on the season and only 4 interceptions. What a ratio. 2nd and 5. Here's the run with Jacobs. And he's near the first down. Benito on the tackle.
Well, here's the matchup we're going to be watching. Team who loves to play man coverage. The Broncos, we know about their historic rate getting to the quarterback. Jordan Love loves going against man coverage. He's got great receivers. Vance Joseph, who's a head coaching candidate across the league, has been outstanding this year, but no tougher task this year than the one he has today against Jordan Love.
What a season for Vance Joseph's defensive unit. Maybe the best overall unit in the entire league. When you look at all the categories they lead the league in.
And this is one of them, 3rd down.
3rd and 1, they're number 1. Green Bay's number 1 on 3rd down offensively, but the defense wins this matchup.
This will be a big decision right here, but we just talked about it. You said it. Matt LaFleur has been outstanding, but this is Jones inside, blowing this play up. You see right there, getting through the line, 93, and then disrupting, making him cut back, and they're going to go for it.
And they bring in Kennard as an extra lineman.
You can just see the nervous energy. Like, this is a playoff feel for sure. It's that time of season.
4th and a half yard. Going to go up top for it or run with it. He's got open space. He's got the first down. Hufanga could not quite catch up to him. Green Bay, first down.
What a play call. They're going to try and pretend to block and pop out. And just outstanding by Love to actually, ooh, that knee was close. Might have put the knee down a little sooner than he wanted to, but big time play by him, extending the play, getting out, moving the chains.
Football spotted at the 42 of the Broncos.
This is such a chess match. There's the home versus road advantage.
Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. First down.
When we visited with Jordan Love this week, he talked about how often they practice this year with the silent count. Oh, look at a little shove on that previous play.
Yeah, Tracy talked about the chippiness before, the little shenanigans before this game that were going on. Still continues.
1st and 15 now.
Yeah, you were talking to Love, you said?
About having to go silent count.
Yep, he'll lift his leg up right here. Yep.
Able to toss it over to Reed, who's back and made his presence felt last week after missing a bundle of the season with a shoulder injury. And broken collarbone is actually the injury. And of course, he's been their leading receiver the last couple of years. Just a short gain. Moss was there to covered up.
Yeah, they've worked pretty hard to get him the ball, especially last week early in the game. And you see both these defense will fly around and make these tackles that usually are 5 or 6 yard gains for 2 yards only.
Second and 14. His Love from the pocket, fires, connects, and it's Reed reaching out for the first down yardage. They're going to say he's about a half yard shy. Gain of 13.
Great play design. I want you to watch right here in the middle. You're going to get all these guys to get out of there, and Reed's going to go up on the backer Singleton. It's just Matt LaFleur's first 15, which have been incredible. You design plays all week, and if you get the right coverage, he calls it. Reed almost extends the ball for a first down.
Yeah, it looked pretty close to me. This is the 4th 3rd and 1 we've had in the game already. They trust Jacobs with the call, and it's busted up by Hufanga, who was able to shove the blocker aside, Wiley, and make the tackle for a loss of 2.
Wow, what a play by Hufanga. I mean, go ahead and watch. This is going to be a toss outside, and you'll see him come flying down. And not only does he take on the blocker, he hits him, takes on Wiley and pushes him right back into Jacobs. And that's why having a guy right there who can come downhill and disrupt these running plays is such a huge difference, because we know about the pass defense.
And Wiley was shaken up on that contact.
That was from Hufanga.
Go for a long range field goal attempt. And it'll be in the neighborhood of 53 yards. Had 9 seasons with the Broncos and was part of that Super Bowl 50 championship team when he kicked 3 field goals in Denver's win out in Santa Clara, which of course is the destination for this year for both of these teams that have realistic chances. McManus from 53 hugs the upright and is good. 3 points off the takeaway. We're back in 30 seconds after. Packers able to cash in 3 off the takeaway. And Love already trying to get a closer look at this defense that's going to give him quite a challenge today. Both of these defenses are superb.
They really are. It's a great test. This is why probably the toughest test in some ways for both these quarterbacks this season, just the way these defenses have been playing.
Here's McManus sending it down to about the 4-yard line. Mims, who is scary as a returner, an excellent run back.
I think that's why Green Bay's actually favored at Denver with a team with a 10-game win streak. That's crazy.
Got a new running back in for this series. McLaughlin comes in for Harvey after Harvey fumbled. The last time they had the football. It's update time. Adam Shaw. Yeah, you got the Lions fighting for their playoff lives. You got the Rams trying to hold on to the 1 seed and hold off the Packers in the NFC. Here's a little toss. And that's going to pick up short yardage for Franklin.
I really feel like getting the 1 seed or being at home in the playoffs is so huge every year, but this year especially because Green Bay has a defense. Denver has a defense that you can rely on week in, week out. Now, Green Bay had to be a little better in 3rd down the last few weeks, but you think that'll shore up. To me, if you're at home, these guys get off the ball so fast. When you're on the road, you got to wait for the snap count, etc. 2 great coaches going head-to-head.
3rd and 5 for Denver. But Day is the running back. They pick up the 5 rushers, swing it over to Day, trying to get around his own blocker, Adkins.
A little too safe right there. This defense flies around. They will let you throw the ball underneath, and you will see everyone come flying. And just watch all these guys. You'll see how many guys. Look at the D-line run right there. I mean, you're going to have 5 guys in the screen coming over. I mean, that is a testament to Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator, and how hard this team plays.
Crawshaw to punt it down to Dobbs. Denver has punted 62 times this year. Green Bay only 40 punts total. Snap back from Fraboni. And it's headed Dobbs' way. Nope, he's going to let it go over his head. Oh, and it gets the Denver bounce.
That'll go back out to where it was touched.
Yeah, first touch there by Jordan Turner, who they just put up on the active roster last night. Punt of 42 yards. The flag is at the 50-yard line. That's Justin Sternad, who is receiving some care.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 55 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Timeout.
And Agbare is flagged with the penalty. Took a little extra swipe at the punter, and it goal. But Love and the Packers are going to have to start this series inside the 5-yard line, going against this defense that we've already heralded as perhaps the best unit in the league, offense or defense. And you see they've got Emmanuel Wilson in at running back. He's been ill the last couple of days and missed some practice time. Was questionable to be up today, but here we go. Going to test him right now. He gets the handle. And that orange rush is what they're calling themselves. That's not a new name. They called it that several times through the years, going all the way back a play off the Orange Crush days of Red Miller's Denver Broncos back in the late 70s. But Tony, best in the league on sacks, third down, red zone defense, #1. It's impressive.
It is. And guess what? They're trying to beat the Bears of the 80s, 84, 85 kind of Bears right there. They have a shot at the all-time record, which I don't know that anyone thought could be beat. This team has a chance.
Right on pace for the number 72 sacks.
Yep.
Is the record. 55 coming in. 2 tight ends.
Got to do it in 16 games.
I agree 100% because they're going to have that extra game. Here's Love's throw. Wide open. Diving with the catch is Musgrave. And they get out of that pickle from inside the 5-yard line with a connection for 25 yards.
And Hufanga fell down on this play. This could have gotten another 30 yards, but watch, he's going to go guard him right here. And what a route by Musgrave to make Hufanga literally go inside. That is outstanding route by Musgrave. What a big play, getting out of your own end zone in a loud stadium. Look at that, 33rd play of 20-plus yards all this is tied for the second fewest.
Wilson stays in the backfield on first down at the 31. Love.
Wow.
Off his back foot, able to throw a perfect ball to Dobbs, and another big chunk play for Green Bay.
I want you to watch this. He's going to play fake. He throws this ball. Look at where he's looking. He's going to throw out here before a guy's covered outside. That ball was thrown 3 steps before Dobbs comes out of his route. This is next level. This is how he's been playing. He does things other guys either can't or don't. Wow.
I'll tell you one thing he does that I don't see anyone doing at that level is throwing off his back foot.
Exactly. And that's out to the field out route.
There's Brooks getting the carry. Chris Brooks for a pickup of 7.
If you're going to play man-to-man coverage, it's why Green Bay, we showed the graphic earlier, is so good versus it. He knows he can get the ball off early because the DB's not looking at the quarterback. And if he can get that ball off before the receiver breaks, the ball's in the air, they adjust, and he knows the timing. Outstanding.
Brooks becomes the 3rd different ball carrier, but he was dinged on that play, so Wilson replaces him. You saw it. Love has hit his first 5 throws for 71 yards.
That throw is one of the best I've seen this year.
Look at that play action. Then throws, and it's caught. Flag down. Tumbling is Fitzpatrick to near the 30-yard line, and Surtain is going to be slow to get up.
That would be big for a team who likes to play man-to-man coverage with the Defensive Player of the Year from last year.
Of course, Surtain in November set out 3 games with a pec injury.
Offside, defense, number 98. That penalty is declined. Results of the play is a first down.
Yeah, Franklin Myers, you could see it. He moved before the snap.
He has been outstanding this year. Franklin Myers, obviously Surtain. He was kind of a little rusty coming back for him, which is saying something, but he's still as good as it gets.
Got another injury timeout as Surtain got kicked in the side of the head. Be right back. Here in the NFL, 1st and 10, Green Bay. A drive that started back at the 3.
I'd throw the ball. He's out of the game.
That's what Love's doing, and he's got a wide open target. And that is Golden, the rookie out of Texas. Another big game. This one 16.
Just an outstanding route. Golden, who's been a little bit slow this year, but I want you to watch. He's out here. Love looks left, holds the linebackers right there. They're both looking at him, and he just throws right behind, and his rhythm and timing on his passing has been outstanding lately.
Surtain is back on the field. Set out that one play.
So huge by the coaching staff to be aware and actually attack downfield when he's out.
From the 12. Throwing again. Caught at the 4-yard line. It's Dobbs this time. We'll check the marker first.
I mean, Matt LaFleur is a little guru on offense, and it's showing up here. But to me, this is going to be a RPO. There's a chance people downfield.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 63. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And it's always hard to blame offensive linemen because they don't know. Run pass option, RPO, means the quarterback has the decision. He's blocking the run. He thinks it's a run, and the quarterback has to throw it really quick. Just wasn't quick enough, I guess.
Second penalty in this opening quarter on Walker. No Jacobs this entire series. Triple stack to the right on 1st and 10. 1st and 15 as Love steps out of bounds after a short game. For more on Jacobs, let's go over to Trace.
Well, Jim, we know that Josh Jacobs was dealing with that knee injury, some knee swelling this week, missed a bunch of practice. I spoke with offensive coordinator Adam Stanovich before the game, and he said he would be putting Josh Jacobs on a little bit of a pitch count today, just making sure that knee doesn't flare up. One other note, Chris Brooks, one of their backup running backs, spent a while in the 10. He is back out. Looks like he can help out in terms of this running back rotation.
Thank you, Trace. And also, as you alerted us earlier, Wiley went to the locker room, ruled a concussion, and he's out for the game. That's the end of the first quarter. Chippy was the word I've been hearing. Start to this game. It even started before the game. His longest completion streak to open a game this year. Jacobs has returned to the backfield after missing the series up to this point. Here's the throw, and it's caught by Watson, who's twisted down near the 8-yard line.
Great timing, good throw, great design. This is strength on strength.
So many different ways today, you see that, including in the red zone. You're talking about the best red zone defense as far as fewest touchdowns allowed by percentage, and the second best at getting it all the way home in Green Bay.
Yep, Vance Joseph versus Matt LaFleur. There's the chess match. Let's see who wins on this one. Best 3rd down team in the league against one of the best 3rd down offenses in the league.
Number 1.
Yep.
3rd and 6. Here's Love looking right side. Dobbs. Moss was over there to help break it up.
This is the only throw that Jordan Love wants back. Dobbs actually had a little window. It needed to be thrown out and away. Great job by Riley Moss, who gets targeted a ton because Surtain's on the other side. And good job getting his hand up in there and tipping that ball away. And Vance goes, that a baby.
Well, you got to love what his defense has done. I didn't love giving this team a chance to come down the field from the 3-yard line, but holding them back to 2 field goals.
2 field goals.
The victory.
You have a chance to win the games then.
26 yards. McManus, dead center. So, yeah, it's an 89-yard Mount Plus. 6-0. Green Bay winning it. A couple of field goals by McManus. Packers with a 4-game win streak. Their last 5-game win streak, should they get there today, 2021. Kick comes down to Bidet at 3-yard line. Had across the 20. Cover every tackle football program in Colorado. There's, you see, the Walton Penner family ownership group. Greg and Carrie with former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, who's part of that ownership group. Here's Nix with a flag down. Dumps it off to Harvey. Pushed out by Cooper.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you'll see the Parsons effect right here. They're even trying to double team him. But he just tries to split it, and then as soon as he tries to get away, Bowles actually hangs on. And Bowles has been outstanding. They have not had to give him much help recently. I mean, he's swallowed up anybody that he's gone against, except today's his biggest challenge.
That's something that you'd be surprised how few times, like basically none, they call holding when Parsons has been rushing this year. The Packers have been looking for more of those calls. They got one here, 1st and 20. Franklin trying to split the defenders. 3 Packers are there, including Nixon. And now a flag comes out after all that aggression at the end of the play and the end of the whistle.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 20. 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Bullard is called for that as he came over to try to assist Nixon, who had that big saving interception last week. And they continue to push. Ooh.
Yep.
A little awkward. And driven into the ground.
Yep, too much. But that's the way this team plays. And Franklin knows, and he's actually been great this year. And Bo knows it right away. Bo are too physical, but this team is physical, and they fly around. See how many guys are around the ball, though? You're going to keep seeing that over and over again. That's why you've got to get up the field quickly.
1st and 10. Harvey gets the edge. And tightropes down the sideline. Harvey for 4. Of course, he's getting all the work now after J.K. Dobbins went out last month with a foot sprain. And Harvey was drafted in the 2nd round out of Central Florida. He was always undersized, but a quarterback in his prep days. And then he went to Virginia as a quarterback. After a year, he went to Portal. But no one wanted him as a quarterback. He got offers as a walk-on to Florida State and UCF, Central Florida. He decided to stay in his hometown of Orlando and go there and play for them. Here he is again. Harvey for only about a yard. But I'll tell you, Sean Payton loves this kid.
He does, and he's been outstanding. You saw not since Saquon with the amount of touchdowns in a season. But he's against a real test today. McKinney comes flying out of the secondary, 29 for the Packers, and makes this play. And I'm just so impressed when you put the tape on it and how this team flies around. And here's the game. It's 1st down and 3rd down for Denver. They've got to win these downs if they're going to win this football game.
3rd and 5. Mims is in the backfield. They can do a lot with him. Nix able to find the target past the sticks. It's Sutton, who's one of the great threats in the league on 3rd down, making the big catches when they need him.
That's exactly right. They go to him in key situations, and a lot of this is because the running back, it's actually not a running back, it's Mims in the backfield, flies out, and so you get the eyes for the defense to be like, oh, who's got him? And that opens up a little bit of a window for a guy who's really good, Cortland Sutton.
So the Packers defense, I touched on this a little bit earlier, they shut out Denver in that 1st quarter. Again, I've only given up 16 points all year in the 1st quarter and 1 touchdown. And now Denver showing its first life on offense.
Offense, number 28. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you saw that quick throw, Jim. Well, guess what? No one throws the ball quicker than this team, and whether it's down the field, and they need a little more down the field. The problem is this team gets to you really quick. So it's kind of another strength on strength, and I think the rally tackling and everyone flying to the ball, you're going to get the ball out quick. You're going to have 4 defenders getting right over there on you, but you've got to just be efficient over and over again. Otherwise, if you get behind the chains on these downs, Jim, tough.
You got Parsons, you got Gary coming after. Here's Mims on the end around, and he's walloped near the 42 by McKinney. Goes for 8.
And great job getting the ball to Mims early in this game. You can see his speed right away. Jet sweep, runs in, different way to run the ball. You wait for the correct front so you can get on the edge, and you see just the physicalness in this football game.
Yeah, he got hit also in the helmet area. It was a legal play, but a little woozy, goes to the sideline. 2nd and 7. Backpedaling and trying to get rid of it. There's one-on-one there. Parsons on Ingram.
It's just a great job by Parsons sniffing out the screen. You're going to pretend to block him. So watch. We're going to pretend to block him. And Parsons like, wait a sec. It's never that easy.
He's holding him. Is that not interference?
Everyone likes to think it is, but on the line of scrimmage, it's like a screen, right? Where you go hit the running back. You're not going to get that call very often.
And first incompletion for Nix. 3rd and 7.
Testing to see if it's man. Somebody ran out with him, so now you know the right play.
Nix completes it to Humphrey. Little Jordan Humphrey coming up with a big catch. Just his 4th as a Bronco. Picked up midseason by way of the Giants. Goes for 15.
Just a great job. I want you to watch. We're going to motion out and come in, but it's going to come right inside the zone. And great job by Bo. Diagnosing that it's actually a simulated pressure, but it's a zone coverage, which means you can find a guy sitting down in the zone. Just got to find the area. He does.
But they did a good job of picking up the pressure.
He did.
And now from the 27. Nix rolling out. Rolling out, going to keep it. Pick up a yard. That's it.
Yeah, he is going to have to use his legs, I believe, in this game. A few more times than normal if they're going to win the football game. That one was just because everyone was covered. But as the game moves on, in some of these 3rd downs, he's going to have to create that himself, I believe.
Well, he can do that. He's certainly capable.
Yeah, you see him. I mean, how good has he been in the 4th quarter? This 10-game winning streak, it's been outstanding. He just turns it on.
The wins they had at Philadelphia in the 4th quarter. Here at the Giants was epic against the Giants. Here's Harvey on 2nd and 9, and they're going to have a 3rd and 3 coming up.
Well, this is a huge focal point in this football game. Teams are very similar, great defenses. Denver's not quite as explosive as Green Bay, but they can play it tight and they just keep it right where they need to. Play the game today to win the game. How do you win this game? Don't turn the ball over. Just nickel and dime them over and over again. And they're actually running the ball pretty decent right now, Jim, and that's a big thing for this Denver team.
3rd and 3.
There's the legs. Go.
Going to throw it instead. He's going to make the connection with Bandy in the end zone for the touchdown. Just brought off the practice squad. Mike Bandy with a 20-yard touchdown reception, catch and run.
I want you to watch. It's going to be Nick's ability to run that's going to keep Bullard from taking the crossing route. He kind of feels the weight of him running, which is what we talked about, and then he does a good job finding Bandy. But it really was the threat of the run that opened that up.
You could see Nix was running behind him with his arm raised. He knew as soon as he released it, it was going to go for 6.
Big time drive. That's why holding them to 3 points on both those possessions gets you the lead.
Bandy, who's been around the league on the practice squad for 4 years total. This is only his 15th career game, and it's his first touchdown.
Great design play, too, but it really was the legs, which we talk about is going to be the difference possibly for Bo Nix today. Extending the play.
Willing on the field is a good point after touchdown. Personal foul, number 94 of the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
So flagged on Brooks. Extra point by Lutz. And Watch this. A dandy for Denver. Mike Bandy finds the end zone. 7-6. Denver leads it. He's here. And they kick it off from the 50 and they kick it out of bounds. Gene's territory. This is a loophole that's probably going to be addressed in the offseason when you get these kind of enforcements.
Ball's placed at the 25-yard line. First down.
He did exactly what they wanted to do. Ball comes to the 25, Gene.
Yes, Jim, whenever you're kicking off from the 50, as Brad just said, they're kicking the ball off or kicking it out of bounds between the 20 and the goal line, so they can't take the spot of where the kick went out, but they'll take it 25 yards from the spot of the kick, which puts it at the 25. I do think it's something that may address in the offseason for sure.
Seen that several times this season. Thank you, Gene. There's Nix, who just threw his 20th touchdown pass of the season. First Bronco in history, first quarterback in Bronco history with 20-plus touchdown passes each of his first 2 seasons. As Love swings it over, complete to Musgrave for about 7.
Yeah, that's a good drive starter right here. The motion creates a lot of issues. That's why he's wide open. Could have been a little bit better ball, but Jordan Love so far has been outstanding. He's been pressured on the 7 of his 11 dropbacks today, Jim, but he's been perfect, 6 for 6. So having a plan for pressure hasn't really worked.
Overall, he's only had the 1 incompletion down near the goal line the last time they had it. So 9 out of 10 and superb under the pressure, as you pointed out. 2nd and 3. Fake to Jacobs, who helps pick up one of the rushers, and again he throws off the back foot and over the head Reed.
It's great coverage by Macmillan. Runs all the way across the field guarding Reed, and that's a throwaway right there. But you'll see the back foot you keep referring to. It's like no one throws it off their back foot more. Look at the no look almost for no reason.
And Reed went deep.
He had a chance, and you'll look at that on the sideline. When you come back, coach will talk to you. That'll come back up as this game moves on.
3rd and 3. You can see Packers 0 for 3 so far on 3rd down.
This team gets off the ball very fast.
Pass open. It's Reed. Turns it upfield. And Reed finally brought down by Greenlaw. Big gain for the Packers. Picks up 29.
Just watch Reed. This is Matt LaFleur's special. You're going to run over here and just have a simple out. But the motion is what confuses these guys. They don't know exactly how to handle the bunch. They're trying to communicate, and no one covers Reed. What a play design. The special Matt LaFleur. Trying to communicate on the move. That's why motion matters so much.
Boy, does Love relish the chance to have Watson back recently, and now to have Jaden back as well. 3 catches, 43 yards in the early going. Jacobs, nice move. He's able to swerve around some early contact. And Fitzpatrick threw a block that helps go for 8.
Well, you see the pitch count that Tracy talked about a little bit with Jacobs. I think what happens is you go into the game saying you're going to play the first series, you're out on the second, then we'll come back in. We'll see if they continue with like 2 or 3 series in a row or if they keep going back and forth.
Look at that nice move. Double
It's
move.
A great move.
Of course, Jacobs so accustomed to going against Denver. Longtime Raider before he went to Green Bay as a free agent a year ago. Played him twice a year in the division.
Got to get this timeout.
Timeout called by Green Bay. Yeah, he's been 5 years there with the Raiders, so he's no stranger in this stadium. And we're going to be where the Broncos have won at Empower Field at Mile High 11 straight, going back to October of 2024, the last time they were defeated on this turf. But taking on one of the hottest teams in the league.
Yep.
2nd and 2. It's Jacobs. Jacobs again gets to the 2nd level. Takes it to the 20. It's with a win. Same thing goes with Denver in our game. Broncos with a victory would be locked in to the postseason, where they are going for much larger stakes at division and a possible 1 seed. Here is Love on 1st down, finding Reed again, able to sidestep a defender and pick up a 1st down. We'll check the marker.
Just a great job by Jordan Love keeping his eyes downfield.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense number 92. That penalty has declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Picked up 11 yards for number 11.
I mean, right now, Matt LaFleur is showing off. I mean, this is Reed in the backfield, and he's going to go up and break out. Look at Jordan Love, look down the middle, and he's moving the defenders. When they get vision on the quarterback, they flow where you look. Holds his eyes for the last second. Helps the receiver, Matt LaFleur, on fire as well.
Got a first now, first and goal from just inside the 10. Penalty marker flying, and Jacobs is driving to the end zone. Will it be a touchdown?
I mean, that was an outstanding run, regardless of the penalty here. But usually when they're throwing...
Offense, number 86 never got set. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, I kind of thought about halfway through that run that the Denver defense kind of half gave up on the play, like they knew the penalty was going to be on Green Bay.
Well, he's in motion, but the difference is it's okay if you go in motion and don't get set. It's just that the receivers on the other side were still getting set. You can't have two guys in motion. It's a great call right there, and that gives Green Bay or Denver another chance to get a stop in the red zone, and they're great at it, like we showed you.
Yeah, again, number one at stopping, number one at finding the end zone. Good pass dropped by Musgrave. Would not have been for much because Hufanga was ready to lower the helmet.
Yeah, this is the old Aaron Rodgers play. You go up and block, throw the tight end into the flat. But Hufanga was coming. You look at the front. They put all those guys up into the line. Then you get some dirt, some grass on your helmet, and that's why you got to get rid of the ball quickly. I am impressed with Jordan Love's command at the line of scrimmage getting to the right play. That was poor execution on that play.
Second and goal from the 15. And another timeout called by Green Bay. Second timeout on this series.
Green Bay, their second, the 32nd timeout.
Taking too much time to...
Phillip Rivers is winning 6-3 in the second quarter up at Seattle. All that coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Second and goal. Here's Love. Now flushed out of the pocket with a flag down. Spinning around, throwing, and a diving attempt at the pick by Surtain. He was reaching out for it.
Holding. Offense, number 63. That penalty has been declined. Third down.
We talk about Parsons on the other side. Well, Benito's been a monster this year as well. Watch this. He's going to end up getting the double team, and he goes, nope, don't care. I'm going to push him all the way down, Walker into the ground. And then the coverage on the back end, which is why this Denver defense is so hard to deal with. Almost getting a pick, Surtain.
Yeah, Surtain was glued to Dobbs with every single move. Now you got third and goal from 15 out.
And you know they're coming after you. This could be a screen right here. I might run something fast.
Love looking downfield, lofting to the end zone. It's Jacobs with the catch. Oh my goodness. What a grab by the running back with Greenlaw in coverage. And the Packers have found the end zone for the first time today.
What a catch and great design play. But this is not a wide receiver. This is a running back. 1, 2. That is a touchdown. Jacobs showing off.
Yeah.
With some Randy Moss hands right here. Wow.
I don't know if you remember, but he couldn't get a touchdown reception.
Remember? Yeah,
anything
exactly.
For years. That streak ended not too long ago, but man, that looked like a play that you would expect to see from Reed or Watson. By the way, Zach Tom was hurt on that play, the right tackle.
Oh, and he's been outstanding this year.
Well, they addressed that. We'll step aside for just a moment. All time, it's the second touchdown reception.
I mean, that's why they put him one-on-one, because they didn't think that would ever happen.
Extra point coming. Interesting little strategy in there. As the extra point by McManus is good, is the Broncos decline the penalty yardage on second down holding call. Could have forced Green Bay second and goal from the 25. Instead, they turned it down off of the incompletion and gave them the third and goal from the 15.
I would have done the same thing. I'm the best third down team in the league, and you can't throw it deep on me because we're in the red zone. To me, you give them a chance on second down where they can create a big play. Third down's like, you're going to check it down. We're going to all be back in the end zone. The one thing that they did, though, Green Bay, we know we're going to be one-on-one with a guy who's only got one receiving touchdown ever. So let's get him on the linebacker and run him on a go route, basically, which is really just flare out and move up the field. Big time catch, though.
A guy who barely practiced this week and had an MRI on that knee at the beginning of the week.
I just talked about it. See how wide he is right there? Now watch, we're going to clear out up top and get him one-on-one, and it's almost like a go route to a receiver, but we get him on a linebacker, and you study all week as Denver, and you're like, hey, they're not going to throw him down the field. He's only got one receiving touchdown in his career, and then he makes an incredible catch.
That's his 13th touchdown of the season. The other 12 had all been rushing touchdowns in the red zone.
I mean, it's risky as an offensive play caller, but you're like, I know what I'm going to get, and it's 3rd and 15. It's so hard to get. They did it.
But they, on the return, and that's snuffed out at the 28.
Jim, didn't expect that. They brought it out.
And look
Great
at
catch. Give it up.
Possession chart for the Broncos. Joseph's bunch has seen Green Bay 3 drives, 3 scores. Handoff to Harvey. And he gets hit by a Packer and Palczewski, his left guard. And it picks up about 8.
It's a great job by Miners, the right guard. Take a look right here. He's going to go ahead, double team, then get up on the second level, creating the hole. He's been outstanding.
2nd and 2 inside 4 minutes, first half. Nix wide open is Sutton. Sutton holds on to it with 2 hands down to the 22-yard line. That is a pass play for 42 yards.
This is a double move on Nixon, out and up. And Nixon buys it. What a route by Sutton. Perfect throw. Great play call by Sean Payton, coming right out, attacking. They've needed some bigger plays recently, and they get one.
Explosives. How many times do we hear Bo Nix talk with us about that? He comes right back to Sutton again. This time it's for about 4. And with that completion, Bo Nix has now completed 9 of his first 10 passes for 107 yards and a touchdown.
Both quarterbacks playing well. I think the biggest thing for Bo Nix is getting that ball down the field, and it's hard for this offense. They're not extremely explosive, you could argue, but they have the ability to do it sometimes, but it's really just a play call here and there that does it.
2nd and 5, watch out. Oh boy, Valentine almost got to it. Instead, it's Franklin taking it down to about the 6. Valentine had designs on a pick 6, but his heart was broken as it was a completion instead.
He's guarding the outside receiver, and he literally comes flying in. And I don't even know if he was down, actually, at the end.
Yeah, this crowd is looking at it and reacting. Well, maybe that right knee was down at the end. Gene Steratore, this is close.
It is, Jim, but I didn't see any body part really put him down by contact. He put that right hand to keep himself, but they cannot change this now. He's too far away from the goal line.
Their second to 30-second timeout.
This timeout called by the Broncos. Nothing they can do about it at all, Gene.
No, not in this situation. If he were 1 step from the end zone, inbound, out of bounds, and you ruled him out, you would give him that other step. But here he's at the 7-yard line, just too far of a distance for them to be able to give him the remainder.
Well, there's a chance Sean might be yelling at the refs. So they're obviously going to blow it like Gene said, so he's down. So you can't redo that. You can't challenge it. It's done. But now the big issue is you just wasted a timeout. Got to get up on the ball, right? That's 2 times right now. Both teams have gone through it.
First and goal. 2:11 to go in the second quarter. Harvey, the rookie, has been a touchdown maker this year. 9 of them. He gets the handle. Gets to the 5 and is pushed back by Edgerrin Cooper. Okay, we're at the 2-minute warning. A good one brewing out here. 13-7, Green Bay. His Broncos trying to regain the lead. They've been a dangerous team in the last 2 minutes, and Sutton has caught 4 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the first half. Here he is on second and goal. Nix throwing, goal line, and it's a touchdown. Little Jordan Humphrey.
He's not so little now.
He's coming up big.
Big Jordan Humphrey. Well, he actually throws the ball underneath when you had the corner route, but the best part of this is this play design, free releasing the back right away. Sean Payton, and this is the second time we saw it to Sutton earlier. Design play calls like this, huge.
Second touchdown pass of this first half by Nix. And Lil Jordan, were they glad to get him back?
He's a big difference.
Yeah, and he's 6'4", by the way, if you're wondering how Lil he is. 6'4", 225. Nix now with 6 touchdown passes in the last 2 minutes of the first half. That's best in the league. And Lutz sends it about a yard deep. Not a clean catch. Oh boy, this is not good. This is Wilson. Wilson is tackled down at the 14-yard line. And we've got an update. Check. He was on his couch a week ago watching the NFL. Now he's trying to pull off a shocking upset at Seattle.
Grandpas are wise. They don't forget how to read the football field. I can promise you that. He knows how to do that. If you give him time, this can actually work out. Got off to a little bit of a rough start, but here comes Phillip.
He's 10 out of 16, by the way, folks, completing his last 7. Here's Love down the middle. Watson to the 33-yard line. Jones tripped him up.
And there's the explosive Watson you saw last week. I mean, he can fly, and right now you see this 2-minute offense. That was a big play to start.
Yeah, Watson had the 2 touchdown catches against Chicago. Got the game ball afterwards. Here's another wide open Packer. And to the 50-yard line goes Musgrave, who's had a fine first half.
This is all Jordan Love with his eyes, holding the inside backers. He actually moved Greenlaw.
Oh, we got roughing the passer.
Penalty, first down.
On top of it.
Wow, this is going to get them in great field position very quickly. That took all of 2 plays. Look at his eyes. Hold it right there, then throw it to the right.
Oh, it hit him low. Zach Allen.
And then hitting low is going to be the penalty. Zach Allen, who's hit the quarterback, has been outstanding this year. He's got the most quarterback hits in the league.
And again,
that one was incorrect.
This orange rush defense without a sack in this first half.
Yeah, that's shocking. That's rare. But this pass protection has been outstanding recently for Green Bay. Even without Tom out there right now, still holding up.
Darian Kennard has come in for Tom at right tackle. Here's the 1st and 10. Tight end screen. Musgrave to about the 33-yard line.
Could have been a big play. Wilson missed the block out there on the edge. A lot of time right now. You're already in field goal range.
Moving inside 1 minute to the ground. Wilson just pushed back. Knocked backwards. Maybe got a yard out of it.
Did not love that call and did not love the run. When you run the ball right into your own guy, it's not going to get many yards. You gotta let the clock run a little bit here. This is correct. That way, if you punt, they got no chance. I would still snap it in the next 5 to 6 seconds, though.
This is where Benito is so dangerous. The rusher right there for Denver. 3rd and 6. Love gets it away. Dobbs has the first down.
That should be a timeout. Another fadeaway shot, fadeaway throw there by Love. Great slant.
Timeout it is by Green Bay. We go to Trace.
Well, Jim, you mentioned Darian Kennard in there for Zach Tom. Tom dealing with a right knee injury, questionable to return. They finally got that inside of that offensive line shored up, and now dealing with this. As for the Broncos, inside linebacker Justin Sternad, he is still questionable with that ankle injury. And Marvin Mims missed that last drive. He was cleared of a concussion, but he is dealing with a stinger. We'll get an update after half.
Yeah, they kept Mims off the return team. Also after that injury. He's going to want to see action in the second half. Meantime, can the Bronco defense clamp down with 17 seconds?
3 guys in the end zone way back there, trying to keep the ball in front of them.
Green Bay without timeouts. Love, got to be careful here. Got to get out of bounds, and that's Brooks getting there to stop the clock with 10 seconds.
So many permutations, so many possibilities with every second, the down and distance, timeouts. Right now, when you have no timeouts, you cannot throw this ball inbounds. It needs to go to the end zone or out of bounds. This is where you play sideline defense, Jim, where you don't let them throw a 5 or 10 yard out route just for 2-3 seconds and get the clock and move 5 to 10 yards. Don't allow that. Put guys over here, and then protect the end zone.
Love with 10 seconds. He's completed over 80% of his throws today. Looks in zone, lofts it deep, no one there. And that'll bring McManus back to the field to try to make a third field goal of this first half.
And you run all goes. Everyone runs up the field, and you basically tell the quarterback if they screw up and you get a one-on-one chance, give him a chance in the end zone. If not, throw it over his head. Well done.
Well, he made 114 field goals in this stadium in his career. He's now up to 116, with 2 of them as a member of the Packers. This from 35. Make it 117 through the uprights again. And Green Bay takes the lead back at 16-14. We've had 4 lead changes in this quarter. Okay, 2 seconds to go in the half. Don't forget that Green Bay deferred, so they'll be receiving the third quarter kickoff. This one goes deep. Broncos say, let's run it back. And Bidet doesn't get very far to close out the second quarter. You're right, really strong first half of action.
You see the talent on both sides. This is a real heavyweight fight. You can see it. Both teams playing well. Going to come down to what quarterback makes the plays as this game moves on.
Tracy, down to you.
You've been able to move the ball. I know you'd like touchdowns instead of field goals, but defensively giving up 2 straight
touchdown catches by guys that would have as 5th and 6th on your depth chart at wide receiver, Bandy and Humphrey. So now here we go with the kick coming to Wilson, and tripped up. Really well played there by Key, who makes so many plays on special team coverage. Tracy had a chance to catch up with Sean Payton out of the locker room.
Green Bay put up 251 yards on your defense. How do you have to adjust, especially with the explosive plays?
Well, here's the good news. The good news is it's 14-16. We played great red zone defense. We forced them to kick field goals. It's a real good offense. I kind of like where we're at the half right now. And I say that when they played some real high-end defenses, the scores have been a little lower, and I think obviously we got to clean some stuff up. Their first down efficiency is what hurt us, and we'll get better at that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meantime, during all of that, you saw them try to go with a deep ball to Watson, who had the 2 touchdown catches, and they both were, well, they weren't that long, but they were exceptional explosive plays last week in a win against Chicago. They thought they might get one to start the third quarter.
Exactly. Tracy talked to Sean right there, and he just mentioned it. We got to win first down on some of these plays, and they did right there. Now it puts them into an obvious passing down, most likely, and you can let this defensive line wreak havoc, although they haven't had a sack yet today.
Here's Love from the gun, able to drop it over to a tight end again. It's Musgrave, Fitzpatrick. They're having good production out of the tight end. room today.
Yeah, and they came after him right there, and that's a great job by Jordan Love to get back on the ball. And here they go. They're going to try and get up on it, not allow them to substitute. It's really not to try and get this great play really quick. It's about keeping the same personnel in the game, not letting Denver get to this crazy cool package. Smart by Green Bay.
3rd and 4, rushing 4. Love again. Down the field. Well done. Batted down by Moss. Uh-oh. There is the flag. And he's looking around. He gets so many flags on him.
Pass interference. Defense number 21. Ball's placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
He was defending Matthew Golden.
Well, you see, it's just a simple go route. He turns around. Oh, man.
I mean, there's not much. Well, he's holding his arm right there.
Yeah, but every DB does that. That doesn't affect the play. I mean, he gets flagged so much, like you said.
You know, and the officials.
But everyone throws at him because
the officials know that. They see the reports. They know, watch out for this guy. That one, 25-yard penalty. I've seen a lot less.
Yes,
go.
I don't think that was pass interference.
Meanwhile, Jacobs, no one near him, taken off. Jacobs to the end zone for his longest touchdown run of the season.
Wow. Back-to-back plays. I want you to watch right here. Singleton, there's a huge gap in this area. You've got to move over here. You cannot go that way because now all of a sudden you leave this entire area and Jacobs will finish. What a drive to open the second half at Denver. This crowd is actually annoyed still on that call.
You might remember we mentioned in the first half all of his rush touchdowns had come from within the red zone. That one was for 40 yards. It also was a very important block down the field by Bo Melton.
You're right.
Since a game in 2023. And again, this was a guy who missed practice this week and was MRI'd on Monday because he says his knees just bother him. They couldn't find any structural issues. McManus's kick angled well. McLaughlin gets it.
This is rare. We've been here.
Packers 5 drives for the game, Tony, to make your point, and they've scored on all 5 of them. Meanwhile, on the bootleg, here's Nix. And just again, his second incompletion.
I want you to watch this on that touchdown. I mean, the communication. We want little guys to block and big guys to run. Oh, you got him, I got him. Dobbs is literally telling him where to go. And the reason why it's not a 12-yard play and it's a touchdown is because of the wide receivers.
You know, Melton, who had a 45-yard touchdown catch last week. Again, he's on the roster on both sides, playing the secondary.
Yes.
Practice is there. Offense as well. Big-time play. Harvey. And that's Gary dragging him down, not letting him get the wheels turning.
This feels like a big drive, doesn't it?
Well, you got to try to answer because it was so quick for the other side.
Well, you'll see it's a slow developing play, but Gary reads it quickly and comes right down the line. And to me, Denver has come back in so many games. They're always great. But right now, it doesn't feel like you should wait to the fourth quarter. You probably need to do it in the third and probably on this drive.
3rd and 9. Parsons standing up and now coming right over center. He's picked up. Nix loops around, throws incomplete. Right at the chains was Sutton. Parsons was chasing after him, and it might have been an important drive, but it was a short drive, that's for sure. 3 and out.
Green Bay does an exceptional job pass coverage here. Everyone's covered. The ball needed to be checked down. Bo Nix knows if I check the ball down, we're going to punt. And look at the effort by Micah Parsons. We saw that when we did their game earlier this season.
Week 1 when he chased down Jared Goff. What a play just like that. That one he got to him. Crawshaw. Second punt of the game. And fair caught by Dobbs at the 19. 51-yard boot. Right back out come the Packers. Their offense has scored every time they've had the football today. Don't miss the biggest comedy event of the year, the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. Only in theaters Friday. Get your tickets now.
Right now.
We'll watch the play first because they're going deep. They're going deep. And stepping in front is Surtain with the pick, and Watson was hurt. Surtain high stepping and slipping by one tackle attempt. Oh, Watson, you hate to see it. Battled injury, of course, was out with that ACL that happened in week 18 last year. This is something else. Surtain comes up with the pick. Look at him diving in front, and watch the way Watson lands on that side and shoulder.
There's a reason why he was Defensive Player of the Year last year, and nobody runs with Watson that deep down the field. Perfectly designed play, should be a home run, but not when you go against Surtain. Wow.
And the run back, as you know, it was stopped because he was touched when he came to the ground, and Love got walloped after he released it. Uwazurike delivered the blow. We'll be right back.
I mean, there's not a more important person as you watch Harvey get that run on this offense to me, Jim. Jordan Love, obviously, the quarterback's the most important. But this offense looks completely different for Green Bay when Watson is healthy and when he's not. They really came out when he got back on the field.
And that is a streak, by the way, for Jordan. He had not thrown an interception on the road in his previous 186 pass attempts, and there's Watson on the sideline, not in the blue tent.
Good sign.
Got to think. 2nd and 7. Nix. Oh, he's able to reverse as Parsons was about to bear down on him. Throws on the go, and it's Humphrey again making a play. He's made several today, including a touchdown.
As well, though, I want you to watch back over here. And this, he does throw the ball on the run at a high level, but to me, this is the Bo Nix that brings this team back over and over again. We said early in the game, he's got to use his legs if they're going to win this game.
That went for 22. He's looking for Franklin.
Using the legs again.
And he's rolling out and now throws it to Franklin, his old Oregon teammate. Oh, that was a little deception. Looked like he was going to go out of bounds. Looked like he was just going to throw it away. Franklin never gave up on the play either, and it picks up 18.
It's a pretend screen. They're going to throw a go route, but look at, I'm just going out of bounds. I'm not doing anything. Oh, I'm going to get about 15 yards. Huge play. Using the legs again, though. He has to keep extending the play.
And you saw, meanwhile, Watson heading to the Green Bay locker room. Didn't take long for the Broncos to get inside the 30 of Green Bay. Harvey near the 25. We asked Harvey when we met with him, Tony, how would you describe your style of running? And he said, you know, I'm always been having the handle to talk about I'm undersized. He's 5'9", but he says I play with my heart and confidence in myself because of my size.
It shows.
By the way, Mims, who's been out a good part of the second quarter, returning to action. Here he goes in motion. First play back, quite some time, and they go to him. There's Mims. Got a first down at the 18. They get to 16.
It's a well-designed play. Motioning into a hitch route where you're running full speed, you pretend to go upfield, and then just a simple 6-yard stop route, moving the chains.
Picked up 9. New set of downs. Harvey. He made a little cut, and when he did that, he arrived right at the doorstep of Micah Parsons. Evan Williams also in on the tackle. Harvey in this game, 12 rushes 41 yards.
Well, we felt like both teams needed to be balanced to win this game offensively, and because both defenses are really good. And right now, Denver has 17 rushes and 17 passes on the game. But Green Bay has 25 passes and 11 rushes, but that's actually served them well with how they've been playing.
2nd and 8. Nix, end zone bound, pulled in. Are the feet down? Yes! Touchdown Broncos! Sutton hauls it in. All started with the Sutton interception. And for Cortland Sutton, it's the first time he's caught a touchdown this year in anything other than the second quarter.
It's just a perfect route. He wins at the line of scrimmage, and then it's a perfect finish to the play with a perfect throw. I mean, this is high-level football right now. What a release by Sutton, and what a finish with a perfectly thrown ball by Bo Nix.
6th touchdown grab overall on the season. Lutz with the extra point. So, Bo Nix, 3 touchdown passes on the day. The latest to Sutton. And we're going back and forth on the board here. Here's the kickoff with the Broncos pulling within 2. And the race out by Wilson to 32. Tracy, down to you.
An update on Christian Watson. We saw him go into the locker room, actually went in directly for x-rays. It is a chest injury. I had a chance to speak with him this week, and he was just so happy to be back from that ACL injury, playing at such a high level, such an integral part of this offense. Here's hoping he can get back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it was an emotional scene in their locker room last week. The full circle story after being hurt in the last week of the regular season last year against the Bears, to come back now, have 2 touchdowns against them last week, get the game ball in the locker room. A lot of emotion. 1st and 10. Jacobs, and Benito holds on to the ankle. By the way, the Packers, they did something in this game they had not done since 2016, which was score on their first 5 drives. The 6th drive, however, the pick by Sutton, huge momentum change.
Slightly.
By the way, it's first time too that it's happened against the Broncos. That is 5 consecutive scores to open a game by the opposing team in 5 years.
Great point. They've handled this pressure. Benito just ramped it up right there. And this crowd's ramping it up now.
They are next level.
False start. Offense. Number 63. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Walker's been flagged 4 different times in this game.
And the reason he's got to look inside, you see how his head is looking at the ball? That's because he's on the road. When you're at home, you can listen to your quarterback say the cadence, but the crowd's too loud. He's got to look at the ball in the center.
4 flags, 3 of them accepted, with Benito so often lined up right over him, breathing down on him, ready to rush his quarterback. 2nd and 18.
Lifts his leg. He looks at the quarterback when he lifts his leg, and then they snapped it.
To the sideline, and it's Jacobs.
It's a big play, though, to get him back on track. And how about Jacobs?
It looks like a wide receiver now.
That's exactly right. I'm like, they are trying to expose the one area that Denver has is that they look at the data and say, you don't throw to him as a wide receiver, so we'll leave him one-on-one. They're taking advantage of it.
Take him out. They bring in Brooks. 3rd down back. 3rd and long. 3rd and 12.
Best 3rd down team in the NFL on both sides, really.
Love stepping up, gets away from a sack, taken off, getting near the marker. Oh, he's got it. It still goes to the Denver side of the 50.
He does not scramble a ton. But when he does it at a high level. Look at this right here. Shows off the athleticism, and that is big of a third down, but that was the blocking.
Fitzpatrick threw a big one right there.
Yep.
That's 24 yards, and that's 1 yard shy of his longest scramble of the season.
Yep. Money, 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 money.
1st and 10. Almost pulled in by Musgrave, and the ball was up in the air for a while. Lock on the coverage.
Well, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, Jim, because they're going to be able to play a lot tighter. Lock gets in there a little early. Almost comes up with the interception after he tips it. But without Watson on the field, you are not threatened. Great route runners, but the speed of him changes the game.
Now on a 2nd and 10. Again, they're able to bring Jacobs down quickly. Roach is the one who did it.
Excellent effort by Roach. He's going to go ahead and read the pulling tackle and come right down the line on a slow developing play. And a lot of this is the situation. 2nd 10 feels like pass, and then you're not threatened by Watson's speed.
Joseph needs his defense not to give up another 3rd and long conversion. Love going down for the first time today.
And there it is. The last 2 seasons, the Denver Broncos in this amazing pass rush has not gone 3 quarters without getting a sack at some point, and they hadn't had one today, and it could not be more timely than right now.
It was Jonah Ellis, 52, who got to him first, and then Singleton on top of him as well. So now Whelan will see his first punt. Mims does a good job of faking out. That's only a net of 37 with it being a touchback.
Turn to kick, holding number 58, kicking team. 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
Okay, Bo Nix. He had only 1 touchdown pass the previous 3 games. He's got 3 today, including the latest to Sutton. Jacobs coming up big for the Packers also. Amazing shots with today's game provided by Nationwide. A matchup of the franchise that won Super Bowl I versus the franchise that won Super Bowl 50. With both of them having their sights on Super Bowl 60 in a couple of months. Here's the handoff to Harvey. And he doesn't last long with that ball in his hands. That time, Cooper brings him down. It's update time in the late window, and some fantastic action in the 1 o'clock window as well. 23-21 here, Green Bay. Nix. Again, as Parsons coming after him. Almost intercepted. Jumping in front was McKinney.
Oh.
Who knows how to come up with a pick. We know that.
Well,
First team All-Pro last year with 8 interceptions in 24.
and look at Parsons. Low pad level, but his speed today has been off the charts. If you go look at it after the game, earlier when we showed him, he reached 19.2 miles per hour when he was chasing down Nix, which was the fastest he's reached on any play this season. He's on it today.
3rd and 13. Thought about it, dumps it off. Caught by Ingram. Got near it. Rolled over one defender. Where are they going to mark this? Going to mark it short. Would you dare go for it from your own 39?
That looked like he might have rolled over. I think.
Again.
Look at this ref is saying he's over the line. I got it up here.
It's like the Franklin play that they missed.
Right there, just short. Right there. It's a great job by the refs.
Number 73 is reporting as eligible. Number 73.
That's Frank Crum coming in.
Extra lineman. Remember earlier they tried to get him off sides, and then they snapped it on the 1 down, 2 down, set up, 3rd one, and the quarterback sneaked it, and we got a guy coming in late. I would snap it. There'll be a timeout by Green Bay.
Timeout. Green Bay. Their first. The 30-second timeout.
So a little communication issue, and that cost
Few of
the
them
Packers
today.
a timeout. They rue that timeout later on in this one.
Yep. That's happened 3 or 4 times at least today for both coaching staffs on both teams.
Again, we were just saying the update on the Rams game against the Lions. If the Rams were to lose that game and Green Bay win here, Green Bay would move into the 1 spot in the NFC playoff picture. Meanwhile, Denver, because of New England's loss today to Buffalo, is going to be the 1 win or lose at day's end. But what a nice little cushion it could give them with 3 weeks to go in that chase for the 1 seed. That's something that Sean Payton didn't shy away from. As you see, Parsons goes to the oxygen. He's not going to be in here on this 4th and 1 play.
Bringing in a lot of big guys, putting them down in the line.
Sneak, Nix, got it. By just enough.
And where do you run behind? Miners. 77.
We hear now from Tracy that the Packers have officially ruled out Watson, Christian Watson, for the remainder of this one.
Well, he's been a huge focal point against the man team. He's out. Their top 2 targets versus man. Watson and Kraft are both out. Will be tougher going forward.
On 1st down, fake off to hand off to Harvey, launching, open, and stepping in front is McKinney. Mims was alone for a while, Tony.
The other board. I think McKinney almost baited him into that, right? He waited for it. He almost had the interception. Don't you think he should have caught that one?
He's had 2 chances on this drive.
Right here. Mims is wide open. It looks like it's going to be a touchdown, and then out of nowhere comes McKinney, who literally reads quarterbacks' eyes at the highest level and almost had another one.
2nd and 10. 2.5 to go in the 3rd. Looking long again. And he's got Franklin for a 1st down. And now will operate in Green Bay territory.
This is 1-on-1. It's going to be a comeback. You run up the field like you're going to run a go route, and then you come back to the ball. And he just, great read, great progression. Get big people on the field and just throw a simple 1-on-1 route. Routes on air.
It goes for 16.
Great route by Franklin. What a game right there by Bo Nix.
Look at that. Only 5 incompletions. Over 200 yards and the 3 touchdowns. Now hands it off. Harvey with a good burst for 8.
I think you could see why this is a possible Super Bowl preview, right?
I said they have their sights set for Santa Clara in Super Bowl 60. You could see it again.
You could. And it would be great to see, because both teams playing at a high level on both sides of the ball. Now it always comes down to the 4th quarter and 1:25 always. Not just the 4th, but 1:25.
2nd and 2. Harvey's got the 1st down and still driving, taking Walker with him a little bit. These teams did meet in a Super Bowl once before, Super Bowl 32 down in San Diego.
John Elway
against Brett Favre, with the Broncos winning that one 31-24.
Think those quarterbacks were any good?
When you sometimes look back at those games and you say it was this quarterback against that quarterback, man, it seems like mystical now when they hear the greatness, the Hall of Famers, and what they were doing at that time. Walker, who was trying to bring down Harvey on these last couple of plays, has to come to the sideline.
I grew up in Wisconsin, and you see Walker right here bringing Harvey down. Hard to tell anything there. Hopefully he's okay. But I remember that Super Bowl, like you just talked about. grew up in Wisconsin. I'm a Green Bay fan, but my favorite player was John Elway and then Favre, and it was so hard to deal with.
That was a tough one for you.
Tough for me, but I was like, whoever wins, we win.
Out of the backfield's Mims. He gets the ball and able to spin out of the tackle. Great effort by Mims. I tell you, the Packers defense looks, Parsons. Parsons is down.
That was non-contact, it looked like, too.
Oh, my goodness.
That's not good. Oh, no. Wow. Oh. Watch this rush. He goes outside, slips underneath, and as soon as he goes to change direction right there,
Oh, boy. You got Watson going out earlier. You got Parsons now. We're talking about the hopes for this season. It's been so spectacular up to this very moment right now. It hangs in the balance.
That's not good.
The Packer Nation holds its breath. And we're going to take a timeout as well. The severity of this could change the entire NFC playoff flow. Just think about, you're never going to speculate. You saw him clutch the knee.
I mean,
happens right there.
And he was on fire. I mean, all season, but in that quarter, 10 pass rushes. He had 5 pressures.
Surtain comes over to express his support.
2 of the best in the game. Hope he's okay.
Meantime, resuming play in the red zone. 10th play of the drive.
They're going to get McGlinchey. 69.
Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You think about it again. We don't know what the final word is going to be on these injuries, but you think about it, in one afternoon, 2 of the biggest stars in the sport, 2 of the top 5, however you want to shake it down, Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons, both limp off the field in what looks like could be serious injuries. Let's just hope for the best, like you said. Here's a 1st and 15. And pass thrown in the direction of Ingram. McDuffie was putting pressure on Nix.
Flying right through the middle. It's a screen play, so you're not really going to block him, but that's timely pressure.
Probably the last play of the 3rd quarter, and it's gone quiet here.
Yeah,
in Denver.
Feel it.
On a 2nd and 15. Nix to the end zone. Franklin has it. Touchdown, Broncos.
This is a play call. You'll see the motion come all the way across. And when he comes here, they're trying to disguise the coverage. So you're going to have 2 safeties so you can get in the middle. And to time that throw right over the top, what a play design, what a throw. Big time catch by Franklin as they go for 2.
Nix with 4 touchdown passes ties a career high, which we saw last year on week 18 against Kansas City when the Chiefs rested their best players. But he's had 4 different receivers catch a touchdown today, all out of the receiving core, touching all the bases.
Yep, it's a vision defense where they like to look at the quarterback, have the pass rush get to him. Could be more difficult without Parsons.
Now try to increase the lead to 6. Toss.
Nope.
Harvey trying to find something. And they were on it right away, including Van Ness. So the last play from scrimmage of the quarter was a touchdown to Franklin. We're heading to the fourth as Denver has come back to take the lead on the Packers. Quarter was bizarre in many ways. You had the Packers up at one time by 9, and they had possession of the football, and then Surtain made the interception. They were up 9 with the ball. And since that time,
they were in control.
The Broncos have put up 13 points unanswered.
The stadium's shaking.
There's a handoff. What a hit. That was Greenlaw who just pulverized Jacobs, who still managed somehow to pick up 8 and hold on to the football.
Watch him. He's going to go ahead and read the bubble and then come flying in, deliver that blow. Who was involved in the pregame skirmish a little bit.
And Jacobs says, I'm fine. Give me something a little more than that next time. I can handle that.
2 possible #1 seeds going toe-to-toe.
Here's Jacobs again, cutting back and picking up the first, taking it near the 50.
That's huge. As the tension grows, the environment gets into that electricity, you know, and the nerves and everything, just to be able to hand the ball off, make it simple. Big 2 plays right there by Green Bay.
Jacobs 10 carries, 72 yards, and that touchdown dash from 40 out, and the touchdown catch from 14 yards away. Wilson replaces him. End around they go. It's Melton. Melton somersaults at the line of scrimmage. Macmillan was there waiting for him.
Macmillan does a great job. And really, it's all set up by Cooper forcing the ball back inside, but then just the hit. I mean, you can hear the hits up here.
The hitting began in the pregame warm-ups with that fracas.
Fracas, I like it.
It's never stopped since.
Nope.
2nd and 10. Love finds his man for the first time today. It's Wicks with the reception.
Another guy in motion, catching the pass. Both teams utilizing motion, taking advantage of the opportunities of miscommunication on the defense, getting people open.
3rd down coming up, 3rd and 4. Reed comes back in. He's been quiet this second half. He's at the top. Love goes to the near side, and Golden, the first rounder, pulls it in.
Another throw off his back foot. He had to on this one as you get the pressure up the middle. But watch this, a little bit of a fade route from the inside slot receiver, and he lays that ball perfectly so he can see the ball and adjust to it. A couple of big time catches by Golden today.
Here's your back foot action.
He had to right here because that's going to go right into his knee.
Golden,
accurate throw.
The first Packer to ever wear 0, and the first wide receiver taken in the first round by Green Bay since Javon Walker 23 years ago. Here's a give to Jacobs. Nothing there. Love, when he's gone down the field, he's had 4 pass plays of 25 yards plus in this game. 259 total.
That's not easy to do against this team. DJ Jones does a great job there, putting him in a most likely passing situation.
Time of possession, first downs almost equal.
Ball control offenses sprinkle in the big play.
2nd and 11. Good fake, rolling, throwing, and can't quite pull it in. It's Fitzpatrick.
He looked off right here. He's trying to move Hufanga and just throws it a little bit wide. Hufanga did a good job staying right there, but you see the vision and no, just a little outside.
Crowd at a frenzy for this 3rd and 11 snap. Protected, throws it. Jacobs can't pull it in. Singleton was right there on him anyway. And out comes McManus.
Watch Singleton. He's got to guard the back. He's got to fight through everyone. They're trying to run a pick route, a little rub route. But they were all over the top 3rd down offenses in the NFL. And Riley Moss kind of lucky. Ball was already thrown.
37 yards for McManus, who's 3 for 3 today. The kick, good. And Green Bay's within a point.
Got ourselves a game. Oh, heavyweight matchup, Jim.
That's what it is. We'll take it to the wire with a 1-point game right now. We've discussed the significance of these matchups. They're so interesting. Best versus somebody else's best in this game today. And we talked about the red zone being so key. Green Bay today, 4 trips in the red zone, 1 touchdown.
Could be the difference.
By the way, some of the early headlines over.
So much of that started when Denver beat him here when we were there for that game.
Here's Nix. Floyd's a sack, and that was a little scary for the Denver faithful as Harvey had that thing bouncing off his fingertips.
It all starts with the pressure coming at him. He's got to get rid of the ball, and lucky this tip didn't go the other direction.
When you make that play that second time,
yeah,
you're actually helping the other guys.
Yep.
Look at Gary on the pressure. Gary.
Ooh, you can hear some of the Green Bay fans starting to ramp up here. They travel well.
Gary gonna assume more of a role here with Parsons out. Nix, good pass, what a strike. To the 50 to Sutton. First down.
I mean, Bo Nix in the 4th quarter this year has been outstanding. And he's played exceptional today, but this is just a zone defense. You got to hit in between the 3rd level of defense, the secondary. And this is where he gets going. Turns into Bo. Finish.
He's at 263, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He's going up top again. This one caught by Franklin. Nixon was on the coverage. We'll see where they mark that.
Every time he throws to Franklin today, the ball is going to be caught. That is his 6th reception on 6 targets, and that's great. He's got great hands at the point. Very strong hands. That's big.
They're a half a yard short, 2nd and 1. And Walker was not going to let Harvey get away. Harvey saw once he got the handoff he was in trouble. Tried to evade Quay. Walker hung with him, dropped him for a loss.
Just watch him right here. He's going to come flying in. Basically, you're guessing. They get up on the ball fast. You're like, they're going to run it. He's going to shoot the gap quickly. Big time play.
Now you got a 3rd and 3. From 2nd and 1.
Expect quarterback move. Just a little too far to trust that they're going to run the ball here.
Empties it out. No, Harvey's going to come back. Blitz picked up. Pass goes long and out of reach.
Guess who's there? Who's there again from the middle of the field?
McKinney.
He is a ball hawk. And he can actually read the field at such a high level. It looks like you got all that room there, but the guy in the middle of the field comes flying over. Would have been interesting to see if that would have been complete. Probably a little bit too far outside of his hands.
4th and 3, and the Broncos have called timeout.
They really want to get this play right and decide what to do. Some teams that are for real. Jacksonville, Houston. I mean, no one wants to play those teams right now.
4th and 3. The offense huddled. What an important snap this is with 9 minutes to go.
Here we go. Here we go, Jim.
Here we go. But Day is the running back. Again, goes for the deeper pass, and this time it's caught. Sutton, the 3rd down magician, able to again come up with a huge catch. And this time it was on 4th down. He can kill you on 3rd, but the one on 4th is really one of the biggest plays of the game.
This reminds me of our game we did with Kansas City where they threw that ball down the sideline to finish the game off. This is still a little early, but he throws these balls under pressure at such a high level. Big time throw. Sutton, big time player. They go to him all the time.
Yeah, go to him in the clutch. And
ooh, there's a challenge. Was he in bounds?
Green Bay's challenging the ruling on the field with a completed catch.
well, will it be a 26-yard completion setting up Denver in the red zone, or will the Packers take over on downs back at the 43?
Did he control the...
The ruling on the field stands. It's a catch for 26 yards to Sutton. And the Broncos are set up now at the 15 of Green Bay, leading by 1. Leading by the exact score by which they beat Washington a week ago in overtime. Here's Nix rolling out. Across the body, throws, and oh, for a minute it looked like Van Ness might come away with it, and it's incomplete.
Risky.
Sutton was juggling it. Yeah, the Washington score was a couple of weeks ago, but this has been a fortunate number for them, but they're going to want to add to it on 2nd and 10. Harvey. Look at how many bodies are around this.
Look at the movement up front. Big time by Denver to get into a 3rd and short. Just watch the blocking, the movement, displacement up front, and there's a hole there, and then see Harvey just keep pumping those legs. And obviously you have a field goal if you don't get this, but you could get into 4-down territory if you get close.
Well, just think how big that 4th down play was. The big pass to Sutton.
But they've done it all year. It's been the red zone. You talked about it earlier. The difference so far.
Better hurry here. 2 seconds to get the snap. Late on the field for Green Bay. Free play to the end zone. Incomplete.
Well, that's going to be 12 men on the field if nothing else. You can't run a 12th guy on the field. Offsides, 12 guys, neither one of those work. And there's no flag?
You got to have a flag.
Well, the 12 guys, the guy offside, I mean, you pick it. But that'll be a 1st down for Denver, and a mistake, big time, by Green Bay there.
Boy, what happened there was Denver subbed late into the huddle.
Ooh. And
then Green Bay tried to run a player on the field.
Offside. Defense number 55 is coming onto the field. Half the distance to the goal results in a 1st down.
And you said it, Jim. You see the 11 guys, there's 12 at the top of your screen. That's 12, and the reason is Denver changing personnel. And then you got to go ahead and decide, do you want to bring in a guy to match personnel, right? If a little guy comes in, you bring a little guy in. If the big guys come in, you bring in big guys. Sean Payton got him.
They got a 1st and goal now. Toss. Harvey looking for his 10th touchdown of his rookie year. R.J. Harvey. Now you got a decision to make. You could go for 2 and try to, go up 2 scores, or you go for the 1 to go up 8. Did Harvey get it all done here?
He got it all done.
He stretched it out. How about 6 rushing touchdowns, 4 receptions for touchdowns? Man, what a rookie year he's having. Now, to get the lead to 8. Lutz drills it.
What an outstanding job. It's a toss play, knowing everyone's going to run inside. And then Harvey just extends it and finishes beating Anderson, the free safety at the spot. Great blocking, big time drive.
All right, we've got an update. Adam Shine over
to retake the lead. Sports, Jim Nance. Wow.
Oh my goodness, can the legend of Phillip Rivers go to levels you couldn't even imagine?
Yeah, he was just talking about Myers to beat Rivers' his first game.
And the kick was good.
And the kick
was good.
Was good. A lot of action going on today.
Everywhere. Everywhere. Rivers will have a little time to do something. Not much, right?
18 seconds.
18 seconds.
3 timeouts, but
meantime, Green Bay's down to 1 timeout, down 8.
Now, Green Bay has been good on 2-point conversions this year, because they're going to need to go for one most likely if they score the touchdown. Long way to go before they get there, but they're 100% this year. All 2 for 2.
Not bad. Well, gotta like those percentages any way you slice it, as Wilson runs it back near the 35. All right. Amazing. Truly one of the great Sundays the league has seen in a long, long time.
I agree.
And it's not over.
Yep.
Jacobs met by Roach. You said at the very start of this game, I believe, maybe first drive down the field, that Love has been suddenly given some MVP consideration, and he deserves it. This is where you bring a team back on the road. This is where those things kind of take off.
Exactly. Against the top pass rush team, the top 3rd down defense. I mean, everything right there in front of you.
2nd and 8. Across the middle, intercepted. It's Moss. Officials have ruled him down. They've ruled him down by contact. Love was trying to hit Dontavian Wicks.
The pressure by Allen up front makes Jordan Love just throw this ball a little too far behind Wicks, because he's open right there. Just makes him put that ball behind, and who's right there running across the field? None other than Moss.
His first interception of the season.
Couldn't have come at a better time if you're a Bronco fan, and a worse time if you're a Packer fan.
They ruled him down at the Denver 48.
What's crazy is pressure creates turnovers, because quarterbacks have to throw it under duress. But there hasn't been that many for Denver this year for the amount of pressure they've provided, but it happens there.
Harvey trying to duck under to pick up 2 yards. Seattle's walking off the field parenthetically with the victory, 18-16. But what a performance by the Colts and their young 44-year-old quarterback, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
That audience going to be coming in here in a minute. Almost pulled it off.
Almost, and that's at Seattle, which is not the place you want to go start as a 44-year-old after sitting out for
I thought they couldn't have given a harder place to walk into.
Half a decade. Gives them hope, though.
2nd and 8 and a timeout. Again, everybody's using their timeouts early. There's your final score. I'd like to welcome all of you who saw that game. Just an absolute breathtaking finish there. The Colts get the 60-yarder, and then Myers comes back from 50 and beyond. Great to have you with us. This has been a wild one here in Denver as well. The Broncos just picked off Jordan Love for the 2nd time. This was how it happened moments ago. Love trying to connect with Wicks, bounces off his hands, and Moss comes away with it. But the story is Bo Nix has thrown 4 touchdown passes.
And he has been on point throughout the day over and over again. He's carried them at certain times and came up with that huge 4th and 3 down the sideline on a go route.
Love had 4 interceptions thrown all year up to this point. 2 today. Here's Nix. Being chased, throwing, almost intercepted by Valentine.
Not the best decision here. Valentine, I thought, should have came up with this interception right here.
Here's a look at the game summary with Love.
Starting off hot.
He really did. And then Parsons, again, for those just joining us, left in the 3rd quarter with an apparent knee injury, and it didn't look good at all. Bo Nix tying his career high with 4 touchdown passes. Here's Valentine trying to come up with an interception to change the momentum.
Should have caught that one.
3rd down. 3rd and 8. They go to Mims. They're going to stop him short. He fumbles his helmet. No, it's actually Palczewski. And now we're just getting a report to confirm that Patrick Mahomes today suffered a torn ACL.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Well, you said it earlier for the new people just joining us. Parsons goes down, does not look good. Mahomes goes down. 2 stars. Watson went down earlier for Green Bay, and now is a monster 4th and 3 right here.
Yeah, with 5 minutes to go.
Gonna have to take another timeout.
That's their last one.
Taking too long to get these play calls in.
I don't know. You look at it from here. You got Lutz, has got a big leg. You got altitude here.
Yes.
If you tried to kick it, you'd be talking, you know, beyond 60, 63 yards. But if you missed, you set up Green Bay with a short field.
I mean, the timeouts, it's crazy. We haven't even hit the 5-minute mark. And we've used 5 out of 6 already for both teams. And a lot of it's the play calling, not getting in on time.
Then you could go for it on 4th and 3. Or how about this? You could punt it. Remember that play that used to be in here?
That's where I was like, you could just take the delay of game there. But being prepared, try and draw them off sides, take delay game and punt.
You saw Moss looking on, trying to see what they're able to make out of his interception.
Here we go. Extra lineman in.
Here they go. Nix fires it. Knocked down, incomplete. Edgerrin Cooper, who had a fumble recovery at the top of this game with a big pass defense here.
He was open, but he might have got away with a little bit of a hold, but that ball was thrown behind, came off Bo Nix's hand. Could have thrown out in front of Cooper and gotten Mims Jr. on that route. He was there.
And now what field position for the Packers? Again,
what a game.
They had a big 4th down conversion on their previous series that led to a completion to Sutton that led to a Denver touchdown by Harvey. This time it backfires. Chasing after Love. Throws it away. Roach was able to put pressure on the quarterback. He ran right around Kennard.
Well, he's going to block out right on the edge. Then he's got to come back in. Miscommunication by Green Bay. And Roach provides the pressure, and then Jones follows it up. Good throwaway, actually, with the miscommunication, which happens on the road, especially in Denver.
Only 34 passing yards in the second half after Love had career best 215 in the first half. 2nd and 10. Dumps it off to Reed, who's able to get out of a tackle. Doesn't amount to any extra yardage, but he tried. Now you got a big 3rd down coming up with 4:46 to go. Remember, only 1 timeout on the board for either team, and that's the Packers.
Yep, and this game will get short very quickly if you don't get this 1st down right now. And you've got the #1 defense on 3rd down in the National Football League against the #1 offense in the National Football League.
And
what a shock the game comes down to it.
And this offense again without Watson. Christian Watson hurt in the 3rd quarter.
Hasn't looked the same since he's been out.
Love gets it over to Golden, and the rookie makes another play.
Just a great job of motion, just to make communication be a little off. And this is just a big boy throw right there on the sideline, and they want to get up and snap this pretty quickly, just because of the little bobble, right? But it's a catch.
Went for 11.
You talked about you want to be in the MVP race. These are your opportunities, Jordan Love.
Brooks. One thing about the rest of the way, with Denver out of timeouts, they can't challenge.
That is true. You're exactly right.
Vance Joseph and his team has been so dominant this year, has seen the Packers score the first 5 drives to start the game, and then they buckled down.
Yep. Underdogs at home with a 10-game winning streak. That's rare.
2 big picks in the 2nd half. 2nd and 8. And a sack on this one. Tillman. And a loss of 9.
Well, they're going to rush 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pop one guy out so you get 1-on-1 against 5 offensive linemen. And in that case, someone's got to get open, and you're not threatened by the speed of Watson, who's out of the game. That has hurt Green Bay. Big-time rush.
Clock running, play clock, down to 5.
Last thing you want to do is be 3rd and long against this defense.
3rd and 16. Across the middle, Fitzpatrick. Now you're going to have 4th and long.
You got a decision here. I mean, you're going for it, in my opinion. The timeouts matter so much,
yep.
right? Because now there's no decision. You've got to go for it. Good job by the quarterback giving them a chance on 4th down.
4th and 10.
In this situation, you will have a shot to the end zone. They will let someone be 1-on-1 outside trying to get off the field, I think.
Packers have got to have it. Not going to get a pass away. The Orange Rush able to take him down for the 3rd time in this half. And taking over on downs, Zach Allen and Nick Bonito combine.
The Orange Rush does it. Just look at the edge. These guys collapse the pocket right on the edge, and they've been doing it all year. As good a get off as any team in the National Football League off the edge. Cooper and Bonito, and at home they're even faster. Vance Joseph, head coaching candidate.
Oh, he deserves it.
He does. He absolutely does.
Talks like a head coach too.
Yep. It's not over because that timeout that you saved. Not all 3.
Cooper in on that play. It's too bad you can't divide a sack by 3.
Yep.
Because there were 3 guys all in on that one. 2:28 to go, and again, Packers can only stop it once. McLaughlin.
Timeout here. Take it to the 2-minute warning. Best chance for Green Bay is to get this back with about 1:15 or 10, and that's if you don't give up any more yards and they don't kick a field goal.
The last timeout used by Green Bay. 2nd and 8.
You got to be conservative if you're Denver. You're up 8, right? So they still have to score a touchdown and have timeouts. It's got to be a run or a screen. If you throw this ball fully, I'd be shocked.
Rolling out with it is Nix. And he falls forward, picks up about 4 or 5. We go down to Tracy.
Jim, it may not matter right now for this game, but R.J. Harvey dealing with a rib injury, questionable to return, but certainly something to look forward towards the rest of this season to keep an eye on.
Oh, too many injuries around the league today, that's for sure. 2-minute warning. We've reached it with a 3rd and 4 on the other side. A lot will hinge on that one. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Possibly. Do you want to get the first throw it? Yep, they're gonna
roll out, and he's in trouble. Able to duck under it. Oh, and he dives about a yard short, and the ball comes out. They've ruled him down on the field. They've ruled him down as Valentine was hoping he could take off.
On the field as the runner was down. 4th down.
He's down, and he's short of the first down yardage.
He's fortunate he's touched, because if he wasn't touched right there,
he gave himself
up. Take that back. Yep, that would have been.
How about him ducking under a sack? That
would have changed
really
a lot.
Could have changed a lot of things.
But now they're going to go for it, Jim.
Yeah, they're all
Throw
out
him
there.
off sides is the first step.
Triple set behind him.
They're trying to draw him off sides. I can't believe
No, they're
wow.
going. Here it is, the handoff.
What are they doing?
And they're able to stop Prentice. Oh, wow. Now you got to go 63 yards for the Packers. Still have hope. And Love comes bouncing onto the field. Wasn't expecting to maybe even see any more action.
Wow.
Look at Cooper come up and make the play.
I mean,
2 4th down plays in this quarter have failed to work. One did, then the last 2 haven't. A reminder that kickoff of the Vikings and Cowboys game is at 8:22 Eastern on NBC. "67 seconds to go, 62 yards with no timeouts." Love steps up and overthrows Brooks, who was in the free.
this is provided by Cooper. Watch the edge rush, because the back's going to come out, but you can't actually throw it if you're Jordan Love, because you hit your arm right there. Boom. So he has to wait another second. Once again, the pass rush winning the game right now in this 4th quarter.
Green Bay has won in Denver only 1 time in history, and it was a far pass to Jennings in overtime to win it. Now they got to go back another 5 yards. They're going to need something crazy like that deep ball that Brett threw back in 2007.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Keeps happening.
Yeah, Belt.
And it's on the road, which is why home field advantage, playing playoff games at home, makes differences far more than you can really understand.
You got a 2nd and 15, still just outside of a minute. Love getting away from the pressure, throws, and was trying to connect with Reed, who was open. Now you got a 3rd and 15.
Well, Reed did an outstanding job. He was covered. He came all the way back underneath the defense and gave Jordan Love a chance. But Jordan Love just throws the ball a little bit too low, as Matt LaFleur shows with his reaction.
And now it's Reed hobbling to the sideline. It's getting thin on the outside with Watson.
Yep.
Out. Reed. Maybe he returns.
They're going to need Golden or Wicks.
Love heaves it. Incomplete. Tried to go to Melton, and Moss broke it up.
I really feel if you watch the back here, he's going to get out. You have the opportunity to check it down underneath. Denver playing the sticks, we call it, which means the first down marker. You had a chance. Now you can't throw it underneath.
Well, here you go. Do they have a miracle in them? Love steps up, throws, nothing there. The Broncos are going to win it and extending their win streak to 11.
Three times on this drive, you'll look at it. I know there's people, but they're playing the sticks. The back would have had a chance. Now, of course, we want to get the ball to the first down yardage, and no one would like it if you throw it underneath. But it's really not the fourth down play. It started on each of the plays. You just got to get the ball to the guy who is correct versus the coverage you're going against. They didn't do it on this drive. Big time stop by Denver.
And now just a couple of kneel downs away. We could very well be looking at the 1 seed for the AFC as Origins tonight. Bo Nix throws for 4 touchdowns. He wins his 9th straight game against an NFC opponent.
Wow.
And he throws for a Denver area code 303 yards.
He showed up today. 4 touchdowns, no picks against Jordan Love, who's on fire coming in. Another great performance, moving their win-loss record to 11 in a row in the last 11. They're for real.
What a big day for them with the Patriots losing earlier today.